Essex.
Breakfast with Sonia Watson.
BBC Essex.
Just getting ready for my session. I've got my ukulele and I'm not afraid to use it. Good morning. It's Friday. It's definitely Friday, isn't it, right? 7:36 is the time. This is Breakfast on BBC Essex, where for the next few minutes, and if you play the ukulele, I want to hear from you as well. For the next few minutes, we're going to talk about the ukulele. We spent a lot of time talking about the ukulele on yesterday's breakfast show after a photograph on Twitter of an airline, Southwest Airlines, over in the US. They were flying some people from Long Beach to Honolulu, and on the plane, they gave ukuleles to every passenger and a free ukulele lesson as well. And we had a great chat about freebies on the programme yesterday in honour of that. But it was said that you can learn to play the ukulele quite easily and quite quickly. So they put it to the test with these passengers on a flight. And I said to Smithy, well, I think I want to have a go at this. I'd quite like to learn. I don't have 20 minutes necessarily, but I do have David Warren, who's a Chelmsford musician with Dukes, which is a ukulele band, right with me now, a music teacher as well. So I haven't got a whole load of time because I'm doing the radio show today, but can I still pick it up quite quickly, David? Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, Sonia. Yes, I'm sure you can. It's a relatively straightforward instrument to get started on, and you get immediate results, which is a good thing.
Oh, we love this. So tell us about you playing then. How long have you been playing the ukulele, and how did you first get into it?
Well, I used to play guitar. Well, I still play guitar, but about 10 years ago, I was hosting a guitar group session in a pub, and somebody brought along a ukulele, and I'd obviously heard of them, but they said, oh, my son's learning this. Do you want to try it? And I thought, well, I'm not sure how to play it. But then I realised that because of the nature of it being related to the guitar, it's some of the chord shapes are actually the same. So if you play guitar already, you'll find it quite an easy transition to the ukulele. So I bought one, and actually I went and bought 12. And the reason for that, because they were you could buy these very cheap ones. You still can, I think. But the thing is that I bought 6 first of all, and I took them to a party, and everyone groaned when I said, oh, I'm going to show you how to play the ukulele. But they loved it at this party, and they all bought them off me. So they all gave me 20 quid and bought the ukulele. So I had to go and buy another 6, and I went to another party, just friends, you know. And I handed over the ukuleles and said, right, I'm going to teach you a song. I actually teach them Smoke on the Water. And just a little riff at the beginning. And that, again, they loved it. And they bought them all off me. Can I buy the ukulele? Oh, that's lovely. I want that one. That blue one. Can I have that green one? So I just kept buying ukuleles and taking them to events. And anyway, eventually I started teaching ukulele, and then there was that sort of wave of interest probably about 8-10 years ago, and the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain was starting to get well known, and then I formed Dukes, and this came about from a session at a pub that I was hosting, where I'd say anyone who wants to come up, bring a ukulele and play some songs in the pub in Chelmsford, bring a ukulele and we'll learn some songs. And this is once a month, every sort of second Thursday of the month, I think it was. But after about a year of doing this, I said, why don't we just form a band? You know, so everyone ran mine on Tuesday evening if you want to join the band. This was, and 12 people turned up, and I didn't have enough teacups. So anyway,
you did have enough ukuleles though.
Well, they all brought the ukulele, yeah. But then I said, right, well, this is going to be a real band. We're not just going to be one of those bands that sort of has all the bits of paper in front of them and stares at the sheets of music. We're going to learn the songs. We're going to play venues, pubs and clubs and theatres. But it does mean you're going to have to learn the songs rather than have little cheat sheets in front of you. And 4 people didn't come back the next time, so I think that might have put them off a little bit. But anyway, the core of Dukes was then formed, and so this must have been about 10 or 11 years ago. And then very quickly we started playing quite big venues, considering how new we were. In fact, within a couple of years, we'd been invited to go and play in Prague and headline the Czech Republic's first ever ukulele festival.
Wow!
Which is still going, but now they're having such big stars from Hawaii and America that we're A, not getting invited, B, much
Dukes
further down.
Has come down a little bit down the running order. What do you think it is about the ukulele? Because as you said, and it seems you were ahead of the curve here, Southwest Airlines dishing out free ukuleles on a flight. just recently.
Yeah.
You were doing that at parties ages ago.
That's right,
What do you think is the attraction for people when it comes to ukuleles then?
I think there's a couple of things. One is it's a bit of a cliche, but it's a very friendly instrument. I mean, I've been sitting there holding it, hugging it as I'm talking.
Yeah, because they're quite little, aren't they? They're not very
small,
big.
Yeah, you can just chuck it in the corner. You can stick it on the sofa next to you and then pick it up and play it and then put it back. They're quite quiet, which means the annoyance factor is a lot lower. I mean, if you were...
It's not a recorder.
If you were doing... No, and if you were doing the same thing with a trumpet, for example,
yes.
you'd soon start irritating people. The other great thing about them, because it's not just the learning of an instrument, it's actually the society side of it, it's the social side of it. And they're very amenable to groups of players. Now, again, going back to the trumpet or a piano or a violin, if you gave out 10 pianos to 10 people and got them all to play together, it'll be complete din. But with ukuleles, because they're quite quiet and soft, you can have a whole group of people playing the chords, and it still sounds great together. And plus, all the people get to chat without sort of having to, sort of say, can you turn down a bit? Can you turn down a bit? So they work in groups. And I think this is one of the reasons why Southwestern Airlines did their thing, because they couldn't do it with any other. I know it was because they were going to Hawaii and it was obviously the right instrument.
Yeah.
But
as you say, they kind of work better, don't they, in unison, whereas other instruments don't. Right, so give us, I think, because you're here in the studio, give us a little blast of the track that you're going to attempt, if you don't mind, to teach me, and you can carry on whilst Barry's doing the travel. But what are we learning today?
We're going to learn a song. It's an old New Orleans song called Iko Iko, and I chose it really because of the time limits, and you've only got... And your experience I was given prior knowledge of.
Which is zero. So I've got very limited time and zero experience, but you're confident I could pick this up before 10.
Yeah, and I just... Yep. My grandma and your grandma sitting by the fire. My grandma told your grandma, I'm going to set your flag on fire. Now, if you were listening closely, you'd notice there's only 2 chords in that.
Yep, I think we can manage that, can't we?
Okay.
Right, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, show me a little bit now, then we'll take a break for the travel and see how we're getting on after the travel. So go on then, give me a minute's lesson now, quickly, before we do the travel.
Just copy me when it comes to holding the ukulele.
Right, yes.
So just across the chest like that, yeah.
And which 2 bits am I holding on here?
Right, so we're going to play a chord called F major.
Okay,
Take your first finger, and put it onto that second one up from the bottom.
That one?
That's right, but on that there.
Right up the top.
So those of you listening, we're on the second string up, first fret. Being technical already.
Just that right?
Point the finger at the fret, the board, so that it doesn't touch the string next to it. I've got some nail clippers if you'd like to just...
I mustn't touch any other string, no?
Just come back a bit this way, that's it. That's it. So that finger, can you make it point into the ukulele rather than...
Yeah, like that more?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, okay. Now take your second finger... The second finger, this one, that's right, and put it onto that string at the top there.
Yep.
Yep. That's it, and just...
Are you sure I'm doing this right?
Well, do you mind me holding your fingers?
No, go on.
Right, okay.
I'm going to need Smithy, I'm going to need help here.
Have you got that?
Yes, I've got it. Yeah.
Just keep that there. Try not to bend it back.
Oh, God, this is hard.
And then that one there. Now strum. There we go. That's sounding better. Now the important thing now is, if
I'm
you
not going to remember this,
just bend that finger so the knuckle's pointing up. That's it.
Okay.
Okay,
that's chord 1 sorted out.
That's F. You just got... That's the hard one out of the 2.
Smithy, can you remind me whenever I come up with an idea like this again, maybe to say no? Right, tell you what, I'm going to take a break for the travel and see how I get on with the next chord in just a moment. 7:46.
Not the next one's easy.
Yeah, easy for you to say.
No, it is.
It's Sonia at breakfast on BBC Essex attempting to learn the ukulele. It's not going great, I have to say, but Barry Lewis is here with the travel. Morning, Barry. I am learning to play the ukulele throughout the breakfast show as well, just to, make things a little bit more stressful for me on the breakfast show. I've got to spin lots of plates today, and I'm spinning a ukulele as well. What's the next chord then, David, that I'm learning?
Okay, well, that was F. The next chord is called The next chord is called C7, which is actually the easier one, even though it's got the longer name. And you just put your first finger on the first fret of the first string.
Yep, like that.
Yeah, that's it. And strum, strum, strum.
Oh, that's easy. Can we do a tune that's just got this in it?
I'm just trying to think of one. Probably.
What's your favourite track to play on the ukulele?
In Duke's, a number of songs. It's great fun when we play songs like Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple and Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd, because I get a chance to play a long ukulele solo, and which always seems to go down well. So I enjoy those, really. But it's also great when you play a song and everyone just immediately gets up and starts dancing. And I think that's the same with all music, is when you get a great reaction. It doesn't matter how complicated or sophisticated the song is, when you see people's reactions. We do a song, Delilah, which Tom Jones had a hit with. And as soon as we start playing it, everyone's faces light up and they all start singing along before we've even started the song. So it really depends on the song, and but it's great.
Quite uplifting, is it? It's quite an uplifting sound, and actually used quite a lot in popular culture and popular music, more so than you might think. I mean, we played that little clip, didn't we, at the start of some of the more current songs?
Yes.
I mean, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, that version's very, very famous now, isn't it? But there's been quite a few modern pop songs with artists you wouldn't normally associate where ukuleles have featured in their tracks. You don't always notice them, though, do you?
No,
You will do, but I wouldn't do.
Yeah, no, Bruno Mars and Jason Mraz and people like that. Commonly use it. And George Harrison was a big advocate of ukuleles in the early days. In fact, when I was coming on here, I told a friend this, and he said, do mention that George Harrison always took 2 ukuleles with him on an aeroplane, because he said, yes, because then he can give one to his co-passenger and actually have a little bit of fun on the long journey.
What do you think? Are you sort of being bitten by the ukulele bug, Smithy? You're filming at the minute and you're watching, aren't you? Do you want to have a go?
I've got a suggestion to make.
Go on.
I think, Sonia, you have nailed the C7. Is it called, David?
Yeah, C7.
And David, I think you did a wonderful job with the F.
Yes,
if you two collaborated,
I'll play
Sonia, if you did the C7, if David does the F, we might be in with a chance. How about a quick blast then? David, you could shout out when it's time to...
Right, we must do the birthday quiz as well in a couple of minutes.
Yes.
Right, go on.
Are you ready?
Remind me where I need to go for this one. It's there, isn't it?
Yes, you're just on that one, and it's when we get to the sitting by the fire in the song. So when on the word fire, you change to that chord. Yeah.
Okay, go on then.
My grandma and your grandma sitting by the fire. That's good. That's it. My grandma told your grandma, I'm gonna set my life on fire. Back to the F. Talking about hey now, Iko, Iko on day. That's your C7. Strum, strum, strum. Giacomo Fino, I know nay. Giacomo Fino. Back to the F. Did you do that again?
Go on then, one more.
My grandma and your grandma sitting by the fire. Good. My grandma told your grandma, I'm gonna set your work on fire. Back talking about hey now, Iko on. Back to C7. Well done. Giacomo Fino, I know, Giacomo Fino. Back to F. Big finish.
Love it, David. What a great teacher you are. Very, very patient. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Well, there you go, Smithy. I think we can tick that off the list. I might carry it on. I might see if I can master that. If you have played the ukulele, if you do play the ukulele, get in touch. 0800 111 40 41. If you want to tell us about why you took it up and the process to learn it as well. I'd be really keen to hear from you.